My landlord learns the importance of keeping your word. I'm a developer and builder, so when I needed to rent for the first time in my 30s, I knew exactly what to look for. I found this condo downtown with an amazing view, perfect layout, great price. The only problem was it looked like a time capsule from 2005. Cheap honey-colored cabinets, red cherry wood floors that hurt your eyes, black appliances, everything was awful. But the landlord seemed cool. He said he bought a house in the suburbs and wanted to keep this place as a rental for like 10 years until retirement. When we moved in, he shook my hand and said, "If you treat this place well, I promise you can stay here as long as you want." That promise is important. Remember that. A few months into COVID lockdown, my carpenter friend texts me. One of his clients ghosted him on payment, so he's taking down their display unit from a luxury condo project. Did I want the cabinets and appliances? I asked him what he had. He sends me photos. 20 feet of Italian cabinets, sub-zero fridge, wolf range, marble countertops, the works. Probably worth over $100,000 retail. His price? 10 grand cash. My job site was shut down anyway. I had nothing to do except stare at my horrible kitchen. So I emailed my landlord and asked if he'd be okay with me renovating his condo. I told him I'd put everything back to move-in condition before I left. He replied the same day. "That's okay. Do whatever you want. We love having you as a tenant." So I went to work. I carefully removed the old kitchen over 2 days, labeling and tagging every piece. The ugly red floors came up in a morning, all bundled in order. My carpenter installed the new kitchen in 2 days while I laid down beautiful herringbone oak floors. 2 weeks later, I had a luxury condo that would rent for $1,500 more per month than I was paying. My wife loved it. We figured we'd be there for years since the landlord specifically said he wasn't selling. 3 years go by. Everything's great. Then 1 month, the landlord doesn't deposit my rent. I send 2 emails. No response. Then there's a knock on my door. I open it and get hit with a wall of perfume. The landlord's wife is standing there in red heels and a floral dress. Her husband caught COVID, so she came to collect rent instead. I go to my office to grab my checkbook. When I come back, she's standing in my kitchen spinning around like a kid in a candy store. "Oh wow, this looks fabulous. Is that a sub-zero fridge?" She opens my fridge. "I love these floors. Are these custom cabinets?" She turns my kitchen faucet on and off 6 times. My $2,000 kitchen faucet. It took days to air out the perfume smell. When my wife came home, she just said, "Fuck, I can tell by the smell she's seeing dollar signs." 3 weeks later, a realtor calls asking to schedule a photographer. The landlords are selling. I tried calling the landlord. He wouldn't answer. I sent emails. Nothing. The listing goes up and describes the unit as exquisitely renovated with top-of-the-line appliances and cabinets. No expense spared. My expense. The place sells in 3 weeks. The new owners want to move in and give me 3 months notice. That's when I remembered what I wrote in my email to the landlord back in 2020. I'll put everything back to move-in condition before I leave. It only took 3 days to rip out the Italian cabinets and reinstall the cheap honey-colored ones. The herringbone floors came up and the red cherry wood went back down. I had labeled everything perfectly, so it went back exactly where it was. I even glued the cheap flooring down extra tight to make sure it would never come up easily. The fancy faucet came out. The $49 Home Depot special went back in. Except it started leaking, so I bought them a new $60 one. It also leaked, but only when you turned it on. I rewatched my move-in inspection video to make sure everything matched perfectly. Even put back the small holes in the drywall. Oh, and I remembered the old oven control board was broken, so it would shut off every 10 minutes. Put that back in too. We moved out a week before the new owners were supposed to move in. I sent them all a registered letter with my tenancy agreement and the email where the landlord said I could renovate as long as I returned it to move-in condition. Which I did. Exactly. The realtor texted me calling me a petty vindictive asshole and said I was lucky I wasn't getting sued, which told me the landlord definitely was getting sued by the new buyers. The concierge told me nobody's moved into the condo yet. Here's the best part. Since they evicted me claiming they were moving in personally, if they don't move in within 6 months, they owe me a full year's rent as compensation for fraudulent eviction. I've got an alert set for units in that building. I'm ready to buy if a fixer-upper comes up. I even have a kitchen that might just fit.